you will realize that we were expecting this judgment, because even before the court said, we considered that the business of blocking IDs is not provided for in law. It might be serving a good purpose, as it does. Even the judge said so. But the biggest problem is that there's no law in the country providing for it. So even before the court case, I have already given instructions to unblock people's IDs. And there was a total of 2.5 million. They have already unblocked 1.8 million of those IDs. Now 700,000 were remaining. Unfortunately, it was a bit complex because we have not finished investigations on them. Even the banks of the country, through SABRIC, the structure that deals with risk in the banks, said if those 700 are just unblocked willy-nilly without finalizing our investigation, the banks stand to lose 17 billion rand, not 17 million, 17 billion. That's what the banks told us. So we went to the court to plead with the judge. If you look at our prayers, we said we are aware, we are conceding that this practice of blocking IDs is not provided for in any law, but please give us some time so that we deal with the 700. And the judge gave us these 12 months. That's why we believe we're granted what we're asking for. So it's not a debate that we knew that what we are doing is not in the law. We knew about it and we have already started correcting it. Now, coming to the issue of what is blocking IDs. Masa, in 2005, when Home Affairs introduced a system called HANIS, Home Affairs National Information System, which is an electronic system that stores biometrics of people, photos and fingerprints, they started discovering a lot of discrepancies in these issues of IDs. So they started doing two things. Number one, they started taking or flagging IDs. In other words, when they discover some mistakes on your ID, they flag it with the hope that wherever you appear with your ID, they will realize that your ID is flagged and send you back to Home Affairs to rectify the mistake. It might have been a mistake of double IDs, or two people having one ID. Sometimes a mistake where it shows that the man is married to two different women at the same time. Not in terms of the a sort of bigamy, whereas they were not married in terms of the laws that allow polygamy. So all those were corrections. Now come the biggest one, where they believe that you acquired your ID fraudulently. Then they block it and start investigations. What the judge said is you can't do that, and we agree with the judge, of course. Investigate first and follow PAJA. Now I must concede strongly that officials in Home Affairs, for a long time we've been trying to teach them about this PAJA, provision of just administrative action, which is one of the central laws in the country, that before you take administrative action on an individual, you need to send them letters of audio alteram partem. In other words, they need to be informed that we are going to take this action on you and what you have to say about it. It's just like when you suspend a person in government. Even if they've committed a heinous act, before you suspend them, you write them a letter of audio so that you hear what they are saying. And this is exactly what was lacking. That's why the judge made the judgment that she has made.
And one can appreciate your concession there, Minister Motsoaladi, but also what the judge has said was that while they also acknowledge that 1.8 million IDs have now been unblocked, and I think about 700,000 remain in the system that you've just brought up as well, to say those also still need to be investigated. What the judge also said was that not only did Home Affairs jump the gun, but even though you're unblocking these IDs, it's very little consolation for those who have been affected by these practices.
Yes, of course, we knew that and we accept. We accept it, and as I'm saying, long before the court case said, we have already considered. I personally am the one who instructed officials that please You can't block IDs even if it serves a good purpose for the security of the country. The problem is that there is no law that covers you. There is no law that instructs you. That's why they started this process of unblocking. And of course, by the time they unblocked, people have already had their IDs blocked for quite some time. So we do concede that that's why the judge said they have to arrive at this judgment. And also the reason that it went to court finally, even after conceding, are two. The applicants were insisting that they want a judgment so that it gets recorded. It's not just conceding. They wanted it to get recorded so that it forms a precedence. But two, on our side, as I said, we're also going to plead for the judge to give us some time to deal with the 700. And we are happy that he has granted that, because this 700, we don't just want to unblock them before finalizing, because the banks want us. Nobody, even yourself, I don't think even yourself, you like the banks of the country to collapse like that.